not only at our scanning stations on external hard drives, but we pay to have it stored in the cloud. We have backups in the cloud. So that's already come in handy. One of our hard drives failed more than a year ago, and it was still under warranty, but that didn't help. But we still had all the images because they were in the cloud. So that's already come in very handy. They'll be there. And so that's one thing we do is we do scan them in TIFF, and that's a high resolution, high quality scan. So
Right.
that's the argument we would have, but we'll accept other scan because we've put some things up there that are pretty, they're old newspaper ads and things that are a little fuzzy, but that's all we had. And so,
How helpful have been the archives from the Mount Airy News? I assume, not all the newspapers around the country have been digitized, but I understand, they have a fairly robust archives.
well, here's the deal with the Google newspaper project a while back. They did a lot of digitizing. We'll call it digitizing. It's not great quality. It's also not searchable. Digital NC has a lot of newspapers, and they do have some of the Mount Airy News. Every time they put out a call for digitization, I raise both my hands and say, please, Mount Airy News. But they've had a mission to represent all 100 counties in North Carolina in their collection of digitizing materials. And so they've been prioritizing areas that they have not previously used or found materials in. However, if somebody does have deep pockets out there, we are able to we will be able to digitize the Mount Airy News in the full span of it, at the price that Digital NC gets from their supplier. And the big thing about that is Digital NC will host it on their servers. We don't have to worry about that huge amount of space that would take up. I'm more concerned with funding our project here about that particular thing. But if anybody knows somebody that they really want that Mount Airy News in really fine digital form that would be searchable, and it can be done, it just takes a lot of money. So you can talk to me about that. I can get a good nearby estimate, but it's in the tens of thousands. So it's not cheap. Yeah,
Right.
and it doesn't have to be complicated. That's why I tell somebody could do a one-page history of their company, and that would be something.
Right.
It's always people. You don't have to, write a 100-page document. I mean, it's not like that. Just write the basics about it. I have copy here on my desk for a small church out in the country, very picturesque little place. And I have a bare outline of just a few facts about the beginning of that church, and that we're going to put that up on the website. If there's something there, it's better than nothing. One thing I will say, related sort of kind of to business ads, is that all of the Surry County yearbooks, even from before consolidation at the high schools that were in Dobson and Beulah and wherever, Low Gap and all these other places, they are out there on the project, and there were ads in some of those. And also we have digitized some of the Mount Airy city directories, which there were business ads in those too. I can't remember the years that we've done them, but there are some out there on the project. So
Awesome.
that's another way to find a history. And someday we hope those Mount Airy newspapers would be out there. It would help us we have a microfilm reader printer here, but it leaves something to be desired. I think we're about 5 generations behind current equipment, but we do have the microfilm of it. Mount Airy News here at the library, and it is usable, but having it where it's all searchable, keyword searchable, it would be like the best thing ever to happen. So maybe somewhere down the road we'll get that happening, but we can get Digital NC is offering communities if they want to digitize their local newspapers. And one other thing I'll mention about local newspapers, unfortunately, we know years ago each newspaper had a photographer and they were out on the beat all the time.
Right.
most of those photographs got ditched somewhere along the way. I can't find ones from elk, and I can't find I've been told the Mount Airy ones don't exist. If somebody comes across a trove of those someday in an attic or a, storage place, we would love to get those. But I've been told that they were just tossed with a change in ownership and things, and yeah, it's unfortunate because it's, that would be a great way to document.
Absolutely.
Because they had photog, and sometimes they were the only people that had cameras in the town back in the day. I mean, they were just, not everybody had a camera like today. We all walk around with phones that can take pictures, pretty good ones actually. So, but back then, not everybody had a camera. In fact, very few people did.
Tell us again what the deadline, I think it was June of 2021. Is it the end of June or?
End of June, yes, end of June of 2021. And so we are, and we'll be glad to take materials anytime. And you can email me or call the library at Surry, and we will be glad to set up a time to get with you. I have been making trips out to places to pick up materials, so I can do that too. If you can bring them, that's great. And I was at a company last week, and they had a whole group of photographs that had been made from originals. The person there was going to try and look for the originals because these are just big pictures that were blown up and put on the walls of their company, and the originals would be great to have from there. So he's going to look for those. That's the thing. We want to document businesses, so help us spread the word.